Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the June faves and fails. But I am super excited to tell you I don't think we have too many fails this month, which is amazing because I have a lot to go through with you in this video. I'm not going to be too chatty here in the intro simply because we have a lot to go through, and I'm definitely going to be leaving you timestamps down below. We're going to be grabbing our tea, grabbing our snack, getting comfy because we have a lot to go through. New drugstore makeup that I've been trying all month behind the scenes for you. An entire collection of a brand new line at Sephora that is super high end, and your girl has some feelings on it, unfortunately. Both ways, good and bad. Wait, we'll get there. Some standouts from Boxy charm that I am loving a lot, and other feelings. And also, I have so many amazing lifestyle things to get into with you. So let's just dive in. Cheers! Some drugstore items that I am really loving, and I have been trying all month long because I actually purchased them at the very end of May to give myself the full month to try them. Quite a few products in front of me, but let's start with two e.l.f. concealers. I was on the hunt for some more brightening concealers and just to try some new things for the summer months. First one, I gotta tell you, I am definitely finding I'm reaching for even more to put even under foundation and on top of foundation. I'm usually an on top of foundation girl, not under. This really stands out. This is the e.l.f. Flawless Brightening Concealer in the shade Light Sand, and this is a $5 brand new product, or at least it's new to me, but I'm pretty sure they marked it as brand new at Ulta. I may have already touched on this earlier in the month as I was kind of going with it. I really can't remember, but I really wanted to repurchase a ColourPop no filter concealer because I love how that brightens under the eyes. It spreads beautifully. It helps with creasing. I enjoy it. But my Ulta just can't seem to keep that in stock or have it, and I really didn't want to order online and kind of wait for it. So I just kind of wanted to see what else was out there for drugstore, and this has been shocking me all month long. The component is really interesting because it looks like a pen formula and it's got these bristles on the tip. I've tried stuff like this before and I really kind of had a love-hate relationship with it depending on the actual texture of the bristles. And on the back here, it's a pen. So what you can do is like push the pen down to push product out down here and swipe. I have actually really loved this product quite a bit. It does actually also remind me of the ColourPop No Filter Concealer, the actual concealer I was on the hunt for, because it does brighten, but it also gives you some coverage as well. It's not like a complete like Tarte Shape Tape type coverage, but it does do the brightening with the concealing, which is what I was after for summer. Because what I do find is I can put this down first and then put foundation on top, and I don't think I almost need that extra coat. I've done that extra coat though for a few variety reasons because I'm extra, but you don't need it. You can have a very nice, natural, neutral, summer breezy look without needing a ton of makeup on your face, which is really nice because as an oily skin girl, I get creasing like crazy in the humidity here. So this really shocked me. I didn't know how I was going to feel about it, specifically because of the component, but also when something claims to brighten, I've gotten the old switcheroo where it didn't before. So this was super amazing, great. I was so happy that I actually reached out and tried this for $5. $5. Okay, now I have loved the sister product to this other e.l.f. concealer. The concealer I have been trying behind the scenes is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in a satin finish. The shade I have here is Light Peach, and the retail for this is $6. So again, I love saying you don't need expensive makeup to have quality makeup on your face and things that last. I really wanted to try this. The matte formula that a lot of you guys know I was talking about a lot last summer, and I can't remember, I think it was last summer and last year. That was the concealer I was leaning into, but I had some issues with it, and I did talk about it at the time where you had to move really fast because it was really covering but also dried so fast that you couldn't even just do like two eyes at once, like putting it where you want it and then going in with your sponge or your brush. You had to do whatever section you were committed to and then complete it, buff it out, blend it, and then go on to the next eye. And I'm such a creature of habit that I just like to do things the way I do them. And I was always struggling with that concealer in one way or another. So I thought, why not try the Hydrating? I've heard mixed reviews on it from people with skin like mine, oily, big pored, you know the drill. I was actually really surprised that so far, I've used this a lot in the month of June, and it is hot here in Florida. I've not had many issues with this at all. There might be some slight creasing if I am sitting out on my deck and working, but that is an extreme test essentially here, because it'll be like heat index of 102, 105 with heat index, and I'm sitting on a deck with humidity all around me, and I have oily skin, so I'm also part of the problem. So the fact that it's only minimal creasing in all of those environmental struggles, I'm really enjoying this so far, and I think as of this moment, I reserve the moment to change my mind if in the future things switch up for me. But this is actually working for me better than the matte. The matte was just really thick, maybe a little too drying, too matte for me at times. This has worked great with my skin. Really liking it. Again, I reserve the ability to change my mind in the future if need be, because, you know, we're still got the rest of summer to go. But so far, really impressed. And for $6, I was happy I made the discovery, because I'm loving the way that this will also not brighten as well, but gives you more coverage, because that was like the other piece I wanted with this one. I love the brightening with this, but I needed just a touch more coverage in certain areas. So together, these two are great, but I also like them alone as well. So you don't need them both together. Thought I'd clarify. Okay, another, darn it. I tell you all the time, I'm not a blush girl. I don't gravitate to blushes. But I've already teased this product because I have been loving a drugstore blush that is matte. I've been using a lot of shimmery, glowy products for summer because that is just how my heart leans in these warmer time frames. I'm trying to look like a glowy summer goddess, you know? And the way I like to counterbalance all the glow, but still have some color on my face, is a touch of a matte blush. Listen, I know I'm saying I'm still not a blush queen. I'm still not a blush queen, but certain blushes with certain colors work for me. And this blush right here is the new NYX Sweet Cheeks Matte Blush in the shade Summer Breeze. This is a $7.50 product, and it is like a creamy powder blush. It's new, it's considered a super smooth formula, and I can tell you right now, putting my finger in here, it really feels that way as well. And it delivers a beautifully pigmented color with a true matte finish. And that's really, really true. I can blend this, I can buff this. This is on the front parts of my cheeks today, and just a touch across my face for that slight W shape, just a little sun-kissed moment here. Not too much, because I'm not a huge fan of that sunburnt 1980s look, especially when it goes all the way up here by the eyebrow. I can't do that. It's not my jam. Not my jam. But I am liking blush for this. It's just an accent piece just to give your face a little bit of color, because I do use all the SPF on this face all the time, so I'm kind of usually trying to match it to my body anyway. But I'm really loving this blush. I like how it blends. I like how it's still matte, but it's a super creamy powder formula. This really surprised me. I happened to find it at a Walgreens when I was just like perusing, going, what's new at the drugstore? I feel like since COVID and all those things, I really hadn't been seeking out makeup. I was just kind of receiving makeup from Boxy Charm, maybe a few things here and there as far as replenishing, but never like actually on the hunt. I hadn't been really seeking anything out, like, you know, eyeballing up those drugstore aisles going, what is out there now? So I was on the hunt specifically for some drugstore makeup to share with my friends here, and I think I found another winner. And then I have two other things that I'm also wearing on my face, and there's one that I'm still like trying to give it the old college try because it makes so much sense for me in my life. And then there's another piece over here that helps the pout to look beautiful. So let's talk about some Milani. I was seeking out some new Milani to bring into my beauty space to see how I was feeling about it. What I have on top of my lips today is the Milani Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper for $8.99. The shade I have here is in Nude Shimmer. This is a sheer gloss that delivers hydration and instant volume. It boasts a blend of shiny polymers and lip-loving oils with hyaluronic acid, ultra nourishing, and a non-sticky formula, volumizes while adding the perfect amount of color and shine. And I will say, I need to do a quick reapply because I was just drinking some of my tea. It does like really look really glossy and shiny, and it's got this like pearl touch to it, and then it wears down, and then it starts to really blend with whatever you have underneath your gloss. Today I have on a matte liquid lipstick that is in the shade Thick Skin from Queen. And it's a little bit more of a coral, peachy, pinky color. But it's a little too matte. I needed something to juice it up, to give it a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more comfort. But I love that sexy glossy pout in the summer. I think it really just makes our mouths look just more inviting. And I am really loving it with any color because it is so universal. It's a nudish shade. It's also got a really nice sized doe foot applicator to it. It is non-sticky, and I really appreciate that about this formula because there's so many glosses that are just too tacky, too sticky, pull some product away, or don't marry and blend well with other formulas for what's on your lips. This is really, really nice. It is a little bit pricier at the drugstore. Milani isn't crazy cheap. It's not like e.l.f. This was $8.99, so in your head you're thinking plus tax, all those things. But so far, I'm really, really loving it, and I love there's just like a little... not too much of a tingle cooling sensation, but just enough that it does moisturize. Like I said, it has a lot of claims in there, but I can also agree with all of those claims. Now for the other thing that I'm not as in love with, but it is more of a scent thing. And I'd like to reiterate one more time for the friends in the back, I'm not sensitive to smells normally. There's a few times you'll hear me in Boxy Charm videos be like, ooh, this is a strong scent, but I can get over that. Or it dissipates and goes away and then you move on. I'm not too sensitive even when I'm opening up something and I smell it, but this product, you smell kind of chemically, kind of summery, but kind of not, pretty much for the whole day that you're wearing it. But I'm kind of taking one for the team with this in the greater good that is my face and the sun damage that I'm trying to prevent in the summer. This is a Milani setting spray with sunscreen. I saw this at an end cap and I was like, girl, why don't you have one of these? You live in Florida. You're always trying to prevent sunburns on your face. Why don't you even know about this? Why don't you have this? And then I thought about it as I was standing in the aisle and I was looking at it. And I was like, SPF 30, this is great. So that probably means it's going to make me look a little shiny. Maybe make me look a little dewy. And I thought, well, you'll have powders. You could get around that. And I just kind of was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's give it the old college try. It's a little pricey, but let's just give it a whirl. But then the scent. You don't know till you get it on your face. It's one of those things where you don't know till you know. I don't even know why I just put my nose up to it because I can smell it. It's because it's on my face. It's kind of a chemically smell. This is the Milani Make It Last Sunscreen Setting Spray with SPF 30. It is $13.99. It locks in makeup and blocks out sun and pollution for up to 16 hours. And it claims to leave a subtle, dewy finish. So... yes, I have it on right now. I have on a lot of powders, my full glam going right now. And it's not overwhelmingly shiny. It's really not. And in person, I do just see kind of like a glow, which is fine. Totally fine. But the scent, like you don't smell it like I'm sitting here working, just doing all the things. I don't necessarily smell it. It's when I get up and move my body, or if I'm taking the dogs out, I can just smell my face consistently as I move. And that is not a scent I want to smell all day. But it's also one of those things where I'm like, yeah, but you live in Florida. Sometimes you just want that extra layer of protection because sometimes you think it's going to be rainy and it's actually sunny today. Now the clouds are going away as I'm saying that. I'm always looking for extra protection. So that's kind of why I'm still sticking with this. But I can say I haven't remembered to put it on every day, but it could also be not that I don't remember, maybe just that I'm not wanting to smell like that all day, especially in a small space. So I'm still kind of testing this, trying this behind the scenes. It's not that it's not great. I do think nothing for me has ever held my makeup together the same way that the all-nighter has. This is still like a ride or die for me. I'm at the very, very bottom. I need to get more, but that's not what this is about. This is about Milani. It's a pricier little drugstore item. Again, Milani's a little pricier. It does help keep things from fading and creasing though, I think, which I was kind of surprised because I was worried this was going to make things crease a little sooner. It's really not done that, like I said, and when I am putting this on and sitting out on my deck or maybe going places, I tend to put things through a little bit more of an extreme wear test because it is so continually hot and I'm very oily skin, so I feel like it's more of an extreme test. It does pretty well. I just feel like it kind of stinks. And I wish it just smelled like a sunscreen, like a sunscreen, because then it smells like more that coconutty, beachy vibe, and you're like, oh, so it is chemically smelling, but it's like a summery chemical. This isn't that same smell. It's just, why do I keep doing that? It just is a little bit more chemically. That's really the only way I can think to describe it. So pros and cons to this. Have you tried this before, and do you find that it really does help with that? Because I do use sunscreen too before makeup, but you know what I'm saying. Like, do you find it helps keep those things in a little bit? Tell a friend. I also have a few drugstore repurchases. So if I repurchase this, I kind of feel like it stands on its own, telling you it's a favorite. I love it. And we're jumping back over here to our friends at e.l.f. for this e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil for $5. It's got a little spoolie on it, and it has a very defined tip at the end. I find this works really great to kind of like carve out the beginning of the brow, maybe the structure of the brow, and then you can go on to anything else you want. I specifically like this for the right up front areas where I'm a little bit more balding up front. You know what I mean? You do. This is like my third maybe in this year alone. Really like this. And I don't even know what number this is for me, but as far as mascaras go, I wanted to get the false lash effect from the Essence Lash Princess line. This is a $4.99 mascara that I rave about all the time. I also have the pink one in my collection. It's like for curly mascara. Put this on yesterday and I just love it. I love it so much. Now moving on to some BoxyCharm faves. The things that are standing out at me that I keep reaching back for. And as you guys know, unfortunately, we've not had a lot from BoxyCharm. I feel like this year that's like getting me all excited. There's been a few standouts for sure, but we're noticing some struggles with the whole merge with Ipsy, and it's just a little heartbreaking. And I felt really sassy in one of my last videos talking about it, and if you missed it, I'll link it above, because I did end up doing 2 big BoxyCharm videos this month, one with my PR, one with my paid for boxes. And now there's something I'm standing here looking at that I've used since the beginning of the month, because it did come in one of my PR boxes, and I still love it. Not only just because I'm shocked that it works for my skin and my skin type, but I just keep using it. And then there's a brand new thing that I just talked about that I've found is making me shift the way I'm doing my makeup this summer. I'm just so in love. The first thing that I have been falling in love with since the beginning of the month is the Touch in Sol Glowdent Face Palette. I've even tried to find this online to link it for you guys, and so far I can't find it. So I don't know if this was something specifically for Boxy, or if this is something that maybe it's coming out. I don't know, but the only way I've been able to find this is like through sometimes like those Macari and those Poshmark and eBay type things, probably in a Facebook group if you're part of one of the BoxyCharm ones if you want to buy one, but I can't find it anywhere like from a store to link for you. As you can see here, we've got a range of glowy things, glowy shimmer, powder products. And I looked at this at first and went, oh man, your girl has really oily skin, bossy pores, all the things I'm trying to combat in the summertime. This could totally just make look accented, make it look greasy. What am I gonna do? I am still shocked that I can use this for a bronzer, a little bit of a blush, definitely a highlighter on the face, on the body, all the things. I still can't believe it. When you see this in the BoxyCharm pop-up, if you are still a BoxyCharm babe or an add-on, whatever you want to call it, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Can I even find out right now how much this is actually worth? Let me see. $34 is what it is listed for on the BoxyCharm website. But I'm pretty positive they had it in the add-ons for like $9. And I think as of this moment, when I'm filming it, you still can add it to your cart. So if you are interested, let me tell you, I have bossy pores right here. And I'm going to tell you about some products that really accented those this month that I'm so disappointed in. But this wasn't one of them. I couldn't believe it. This to me has an amazing texture. Usually if I'm looking to carve out and do a little bit of bronzer, I'll just take one of my Alamar brushes that's a little bit more oval shaped here, go on the edge of each side, dip it into both of these, kind of go back and forth, do this kind of thing, kick it off, and then I'll just kind of like drag it down a little bit, kind of form the shape I'm looking for, adding in those cheekbones God forgot, you know what I mean? Then kind of taking what's left on the brush and sweeping it up around this area for a little bit of a glow, a sun-kissed summer moment. Amazing. Also pull it up on the edges here around the perimeter of my face. And I just think, I don't understand what witchcraft this is, but it is so good that it doesn't accent my pores. It doesn't make my face look like a glowing highlighter and like I made a big YouTube mistake of doing full face with highlighters and look like a wreck. It doesn't do that. I think these are so creamy, so buttery. They do a gorgeous job applying a shimmer but non-greasy form looking pore filling layer to your face. I don't know how to describe it. Highly recommend it. I'm gonna shut up about it though, because we got a lot of things to talk about, including an eyeshadow palette that has made me a shimmer lover, a girl who was like, I can deal with a whole shimmer palette. I love shimmers. Now I am just loving this Dominique Cosmetics Transitions palette. I just keep reaching for this baby. Yeah, this is a $48 palette, and honestly, as I kept using it more, it truly kept reminding me of another palette that I'm going to tell you that I was shopping my stash with this month, because this reminded me a lot, I just got to tell you about it now, of the Viseart palette. This is the Neutrals Matte Eyeshadow Palette. I got this, I think, in a choice item for a Boxy Luxe or a Boxy Premium months and months ago, and I wasn't automatically in love. You know, it took me a while to understand the formula, understand how they blended, understand how they work. But I feel like even though they're not, I mean, they're not dupes, but my goodness, couldn't they be close to it? Kind of could be. Like, kind of could be. But the formula also performs really, really well. I actually was looking for a drugstore dupe for this like a couple of days ago, and I think I may have a drugstore dupe for this I'm going to talk about in an upcoming video. Stay tuned. Be subscribed. Do all the YouTube stuff. I have used this palette pretty much consistently since I got it. Today I started my eye look with honey just to do a little bit of that summer yellow golden tone, but then I go into toffee, kind of warm it back up, but you can still see the golden honey underneath it. Then I go down a little bit in my outer corners here, and I go into a little bit more warm shades like hazelnut and blushing, just to kind of like start blending it, giving it some depth and dimension. And then I got a little inspired by a recent Tati video, because my girl Tati is back, and she was doing a matte look and pulled out a darker shade for her outer V, and I was like, me too, girl, me too, this morning, because I just couldn't not, and I watched that video like 3 times already. Really quality palette. It's making me love all matte looks, and I feel like that was not something I ever leaned into. Maybe a little bit this past year, because we were definitely doing lighter makeup looks, but I feel like you can really have a sexy statement eye look when it has no shimmer, and I feel like this eye look today didn't take a lot of work, but it definitely stands on its own. It gives its own life. And I do have a little bit of shimmer just in the corner and underneath the eye from the Glow palette, because I'm trying to introduce this into more eye looks too. But then it's nothing on the actual lid. It's just kind of like accenting it, which juices it up and gives it a little bit more like complexity. I love it. Also loving playing with the Viseart palette with it. Actually today I think I delved into like some of these other shades that get a little bit richer as they layer up on those like accent pieces that I want. These go great together. So if you did get one of these from the BoxyCharm, this will go great with your transitions palette. Just telling you, because you're my friend. Oh, also speaking of Tati, didn't even mean for that transition to happen, but I've been pulling my Blendiful back out. I was watching, do you guys watch Jessica Braun? I know some of you do, some of you may not. She's also a beauty, but now she's kind of doing a little bit more vlogging, lifestyle stuff, and I was watching one of her videos, and she was not even talking about this, but she had it out while she was like doing one of her eye looks like this, and I was like, why did I stop doing that? Yes! Yes, that helps you from pulling too much on your skin, from tugging. It's this nice light pressure, and then if you get any product on the sponge, it's no big deal, and you kind of keep a line going. You kind of keep all the powder in control. And when you're dealing with new formulas that tend to be a little bit more powdery and fluffy, like these mattes are, genius. I pulled this back out. Pulled this sucker back out. I did declutter the smaller version, but I did pull this back out, and I've been using it probably for a good 2 weeks now since I saw that in her video. Oh, one more thing to tell you about. An empty. I actually have an empty to tell you about that I think I actually got rid of the body because your girl lives in a tiny house, and I've already been sort of pulling aside and collecting a future declutter video. I don't know when that's going to go up. I feel like I still got to do a little bit more pulling and weeding through. But as I was using up this product, I was like, oh my gosh, I have an empty. It's not just a declutter, it's an empty. We got this from, I think, from a BoxyCharm probably a year ago. It was the Alamar Birthday Suit Gloss. It was a nice pinky tone with a little bit of a glimmery fleck to it. That was something I used on top of a lot of nude liquid lipsticks over the past year or so. And it's just kind of in a smaller bottle, but I did actually just use that up. And I'm sorry, any empty is worth mentioning, so thought I'd share that here with you. So now I gotta move on to something else that I was really, really, really excited to try. And it is the complete line from Sephora. This is the Merit Beauty line. This was gifted to me by the brand, and it is their complete 5-minute full face collection. It comes in this adorable bag here. I didn't have any of the highlighter when I was picking my things. They were sold out. So I did get to get 2 of their more foundation-y concealer type products. So I have been trying these multiple times throughout the month of June. I even teased it in one of the end of my videos being like, oh my gosh, I'm doing a full wear test for you guys today and I'll keep you updated. I was having mixed feelings about my makeup that day, and that's always hard when you're reviewing makeup, but you can't really tell what you're talking about because it's an upcoming video, all those things. I really wasn't feeling too confident in my completed look that day, and I was like, well, I'm still getting used to this, but you know, I still had to come on camera and do all the things. But no one ever said that my makeup looked off, so I was like, that's a win. So the products I did get from Merit Beauty are just supposed to be products that you can get a full, quick 5-minute face with. And maybe it's because I'm really not a 5-minute face kind of girl. I mean, my videos are an hour long and I'm not even doing a freaking tutorial for you. It's just me telling you about makeup and reviewing things and chatting with my friends here. So it could just be also the style of makeup isn't all, you know, aimed at me, and that's totally cool. I loved the idea that this was a clean brand from Sephora. I really wanted to try this brand when I had heard about it a few months back, actually. So the first thing that I was picking out were the Minimalists. These are $38 and they're a perfecting complexion stick. It's not a foundation or a concealer, but it can replace both in your makeup bag is what they say. What they claim this will do is pretty much get you compliments on your skin, not your makeup. It's designed to be an all-over coverage so you can make small edits only where you need them to your face. I guess I'm so used, though, to having, heck, I have 2 concealers on today, a foundation and powders. I just don't know if this is exactly aimed at me, but I was kind of hopeful, oh shoot, I have so many swatches on, that it'd be something that I would like to wear every now and again. So this one here is in the shade Ecru. And this one here is in this shade Ochre. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And for me, I didn't know if it was going to work well as there's very few stick foundations that have worked for me. Some concealers have, but as far as a foundation goes, it's kind of a struggle, mostly because of my pores and my bossy skin. And when I tried this on for you, and I do have some clips of me trying it on, I did find that it would settle into my pores. And then there was another day where I was like, okay, well then, you know what? Don't just do the 5-minute face. Do something with the things you know work well for your skin. So I added in a pore filling primer that I knew I loved, and it worked great for me normally. I still had issues when applying this foundation with being able to see all of my bossy pores across my nose, onto my cheeks, up into this part of my forehead where I do tend to struggle with that. It was really an ongoing issue that I just could not kick. It was really, really frustrating. And I kept trying different ways with it, and it just, I don't know if this is for me. And it's so funny because Tati's video that she just uploaded actually used one of these as a like contour, how she likes to do contour underneath her foundation, and I was like, dang, that's a great idea, Tati. Why didn't I get a darker one since I got 2 anyway? But even she said it wasn't malleable enough to really blend well enough to look like that under the skin, you know, just that little elevation of makeup. So maybe it's my skin type, because what I can tell you about this particular concealer foundation base piece of makeup is it looked better for me as the day wore on. Like by midday, there was less pouring. There was pores visible. You know what I mean? There was less of the creasing, but like on the second day, no, maybe it was the second and third times I tried this, my forehead looked so blotchy, and I was like, is it some skin products I'm using? Is it skincare? What's going on? The whole area up here on my forehead just looked terrible, but by midway through the day, it looked less terrible. So I'm wondering if it's just my skin type for these type of things. Something that was sold out a ton and is actually considered one of their best selling products is actually their face brush. This is something that I did use with these face base pieces, and I tried it with a sponge, didn't work so great, and I was like, oh, use their brush, silly girl. I don't use a brush all the time, so I tend to forget about it. The brush did okay, but it still really had some struggles, but I do love the softness of this brush. So yesterday, I tried this with my Natasha Denona foundation that I love, and it works great for filling in all pores, all the good things. This worked great. Really, really loved this for a liquid foundation. So this brush, though, outstanding. Super soft. It was sold out for a really long time, too. So I feel like this is definitely one of their standout pieces from this line. The blush, I've ended up picking up the shade Beverly Hills and applying it with the full 5-minute face, and only that, it was, you know, okay, but I was already seeing so many issues with my face. I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work. I used this yesterday with the regular makeup that I enjoy and used this just as my blush and then used powders on top. Didn't powder any other blushes on, just this. And this did a really nice job. You could see it, but it had this like sheer property to it. So it just looked like my skin in a way. So I really liked how this worked with my even oily and big pored skin with the type of makeup I usually use. So with the 5-minute face, not so great for me personally, but as a standalone piece, as an accent with other things, and I was like, it's a cream blush. Nicole, how you gonna do with this? I don't know. I actually really liked it and found that it wasn't overpowering, because I don't like blushes to be overpowering anyway, but it was there and it gave its own little moment. I actually liked this more than I thought I would just with my makeup. I want to keep playing with some of these things with the ways I do makeup more and just kind of be incorporating them a little bit more. I also got the Brow 1980 Volumizing Pomade for $24. The shade I got here was in the shade Brown. This is a very pricey line. Like, nothing in this list is going to be under $24. I think this might be the cheapest thing. So I was really glad that Merit wanted to work with me and partner with me to try this line out. And I did like this as well. Again, I think I need a little bit more work in this front area, maybe with my e.l.f. pencil or whatnot, just to kind of fill it in. But then using this on its own after that would be fine. The mascara I'm wearing today is this Merit Clean Lash Lengthening Mascara. I really like the wand and I really like the component. I like how it applies to my lashes. I'm not a huge fan at how they dry. To me, they're starting to clump together and make it look like I have less eyelashes, but I have that struggle with a lot of different mascaras. I think it's personally how, one, I like my mascara to look. I like it to look a little bit fluffier because I do have very wide, big eyes, so I feel like when it clumps together to maybe try to lengthen or make things look a little bit more bold, for me, I think it makes my lashes look sparse just because I've got a lot of real estate in that area, you know? But I don't think it looks bad at all. I like how the lower lashes are laying. But I do want to see how this lasts because, as we know, mascara sometimes has a second life midway through. So I'll keep you posted on how I feel about this. But I love how it applies. I think when it applies, it looks great. And the last thing is this Merit Lip Oil. This is called the Shade Slick Tinted Lip Oil for $24. The one I picked out is in the shade Au Naturel. And I was surprised it was a lip oil, but it actually has a lot of great pigment to it. Super soft, a color, I picked a color that I really do like. And it's something that I did notice I kept applying and really enjoying. Now, it doesn't last. It says it's a slick of sheer color infused with rosehip oil and shea butter for healthy lips all day. I love how it feels on the lips. I do think it feels great. I do notice because it's an oil, I did need to keep applying it though. So you kind of go back and forth with, I mean, how many times are you going to reapply it? And I am a water and tea drinker throughout the day, as we know. But I really am enjoying this a lot. I'm really enjoying this brush a ton. I even washed it yesterday so I could reuse it more this week, and it's still so darn soft. I love the quality of this brush. Unfortunately, these pieces weren't too great for me, but I'm going to keep playing with them and see if I can find another way to really make this work for my skin. The blush really surprised me though. I always love trying new brow products because your girl is burning through them left, right, center. I'm always needing to try new brow products because I got some brows and I go through a lot of products. So I'm really enjoying playing with these as well. And I do have an affiliate link below if you are curious or you wanted to try one or multiple of these pieces. If you have drier skin, I think some of these, like specifically these pieces here, the foundation / concealer, would probably work a little bit better for you. I think just my texture on my skin maybe wasn't complimentary. The first time I tried this, it worked better, so maybe I've been applying too much, but I have tried it like 3 or 4 times now. I don't know if this is really great for me, but if you have drier skin, I think a lot of this would work really great for you. I will have my affiliate link below and a little bit more description for you. Now I'm going to be jumping into some lifestyle pieces that I am super duper excited to get into with you, and I have been trying these all month long, so I can tell you even some more details about them. I've been letting you guys know I have been loving some scents over the past few years. I've got a few things that I just always reach for, but then I tend to get into like a perfume rut. So I was really appreciative when Dossier reached out to me and wanted to send me some perfumes to try. I kind of went off the scents that I knew I really loved and started looking at some of the notes that stood out to me, and I ended up picking 2 different perfumes off of their website. And these are affordable versions of pretty pricey brands, actually. Dossier reproduces classic high-end luxury scents at a fraction of the price, keeping the exact same high quality by cutting all the expenses and the infamous brand tax. You know what I mean by that? Because when you see things like Gucci and Tom Ford, sometimes that's just totally out of, well, my price budget for sure. I didn't even know that there were brands out there doing this at this high quality. They also have just like a risk-free system allowing customers to try the perfumes before committing to them. Because, you know, when you're buying online, you're always like, wait, it's a scent. How am I going to be able to select this? Like, pick what I like and then not have buyer's remorse. Every bottle comes with a small sample. That way you can smell it and try it before opening up the bigger version. So that way you can decide, do I need to return this? Do I like this scent? And the packaging also comes with a little note card about the product and the notes. It really is super helpful information, especially if you're trying to figure out what scents work for you and why. And then they offer a standard 30-day policy where you can return the product that maybe doesn't work for you with the larger dose because you got to try the smaller amount. And you get a full refund, no questions asked. I love that I could share this with you guys because I didn't even know that this was a thing out there, but their perfumes are like $39, while the designer scents range from $50 to $280 in retail. Like, I have a hard time justifying that for makeup, and you know how much I love makeup. So when I saw that we could get like really great smelling, long-lasting perfumes at a fraction of the price, I was like, oh my gosh, I'd love to try that. I've seen a lot of great reviews on their websites too, comparing, because maybe they bought the original like high-end version and then they purchased the Dossier version, and they're shocked that not only does it smell the same, but also lasts just as well, because that was kind of the thing people were concerned about, was does it last? The two scents I picked absolutely last. The one I have here is Oriental Cherry, and this one is actually inspired by the Tom Ford Lost Cherry. And then this one is actually only $29. This is the Gourmand White Flowers. This one is inspired by the Victor and Rolf's Flower Bomb. Retail price $115. So I've been really enjoying these since I received them. The one I think I reach for the absolute most though is the Oriental Cherry. This is also the one my husband tends to enjoy, because the other thing is I live in a very small space with one other person, so we both kind of need to enjoy the scent. I've really liked trying these and having a new variety to my collection that I'm so happy to say doesn't break the bank, because I could never spend over $100 on a perfume. I can't justify that. Personally, that's me personally though. Dossier was also awesome enough to give a discount to you guys, so go ahead and check out my description box below. If you use my code, you can get a 10% discount with my link, and my code NicoleFisher10. Dossier has a welcome offer up to 20% off on their website, so you can get up to 30% off on their website by using my discount code. The extra 10% is applied at the end of the checkout at the top of the welcome offer, so I just wanted to mention that for you guys. But this is something I've been really loving all month long. I love kind of introducing also new scents and new time frames, because it's now like summer, so now I wanted to smell like Oriental Cherry or the white flowers. It just kind of like, it's that new season, you know? This next piece of my video is in partnership with my friends at Rose Forever. I am so excited to share with you this gorgeous Black Velvet collection. Oh my gosh, look at these roses. These are stunning. It's so big, I can't even fit in the frame here. Oh my golly. They gifted me this gorgeous bouquet that is just stunning, and I just can't stop looking at it. And it smells so good. This is part of their Black Velvet collection that I just think looks so glamorous and classy. And the good news about these roses, if you haven't heard me talk about them before, is you don't have to water them. You don't have to really do anything with them. You just display them in your home and they will last up to a year. It is crazy. And I just think, I can't get over how good these smell. I talked about these for their upcoming Mother's Day sale a few months back, and because that sale was so successful, they only have so many in this black collection left, the Black Velvet Sexy collection, but they are getting even more colors and varieties coming in. So I absolutely wanted to, one, thank Rose Forever for sending me this gorgeous bouquet, but also letting you guys know. And you can get another discount with my code and link down below. You can shop the Rose Forever link and use my discount code for $20 off using code Nicole20. I just think that this is such a gorgeous accent piece. I do have a smaller one and it's in the pink roses. Hold on, I'll show you those too so you have an idea for visual effects of what they look different and how they look differently in sizes. These are the 9 roses and I got them in like a pale pink and they are just gorgeous still. I know a lot of you guys were wanting updates on how these have lasted and I have had these for months now. I mean, I had them even before Mother's Day and they still look brand new. They look beautiful and they're going to last a whole year. Like, that's crazy. These are just so glamorous to display in your home. And you do get a hat box with them so you can kind of just like display it however you want. It's just such a classy statement piece. This is such a fun shade too for the 4th of July that I just thought this is so pretty for like, can you imagine this like sitting on your table while you've got like the whole summer, like watermelon chips, hot dogs and stuff just kind of sitting around and this is like your statement piece. I don't know. I just think it's super fancy and gorgeous. And I absolutely wanted to thank my friends at Rose Forever for partnering with me on this part of the video and for sharing that discount link with you guys too. Again, they're kind of running out of this Black Velvet collection, but they have a lot of different shades of roses coming in. Highly suggest you check them out. I love mine so much. Skincare is also something that you guys know I'm always working towards. Specifically in the summertime, a lot of my texture can really be accented because my face is looking a little shinier, maybe because of makeup products, or maybe because of just the, I don't know, humidity outside, my pores making everything look like it's just looking rough. I was really grateful when Duval reached out to me and they sent me this awesome Duval Radiance Spin Care System. This is supposed to deeply cleanse your skin with rotating movements to achieve cleaner and more vibrant skin all over your whole body. It actually came with 4 interchangeable accessories: the facial exfoliation brush, a large body cleansing brush, a facial cleansing brush, and a pumice stone. I have been using this all month long and I can tell you I'm definitely noticing a difference in my skin, but so is Adam. I love this component here because, yeah, okay, I'll be honest, the bottom was a little hard to get off, but once you get it off, put the batteries in to get it to work. The reason it's hard to get off is because it's waterproof. It goes in your shower with you. That was a game changer for me because I'll be honest, I have already like a skincare routine at night that I have implemented to wash off all my makeup, you know, get that second cleanse going, put on the skincare, all the stuff. So sometimes adding in a new tool or a new thing is really hard for me. So the fact that these can go in my shower, game changer. Also, you know, my husband cares about my skincare because he uses the skincare for him. Loves these. So I have loved using this not only after I take off my makeup for like part of the second cleanse because it can get more crap out of your face that you thought you already had out. I love when I can have that double check, and these white bristles, they don't tell no lies. You can see more makeup like when you're getting in the crevices and stuff of that second cleanse. It's like, you missed a spot, girl. You missed a spot. So I'm really grateful, but this also like gets into those pores and gets into those areas. And I feel like I've not been doing such a good job at exfoliating all the time. But I also love that it came with a larger bristle brush for the body. Because, I mean, do you ladies have this struggle where like on the back of your arms, you get a little bumpy, you get a little rough skin? My elbows, specifically my left elbow, don't ask why, but my left elbow always feels drier. So I feel like I need to exfoliate that a bit more. So it's kind of nice just when you're in the shower, instead of just like, you know, doing whatever, I can actually scrub the body. And I just used the pumice stone a few times, but I can already tell you, game changer. Game changer for the feet. I haven't gotten a pedicure in a while and I miss them a lot. But this helps because I live in Florida and live in flip-flops. So the dry skin on the bottom of my feet, we're not going to talk about it. It's not pretty, but this has helped immensely. I have been loving this a lot. They were really sweet too and gave you guys a huge discount on this product because she is pretty pricey. This is a $95 piece. It has 4 attachments to it, the main unit, and it's waterproof. I can tell you I have been loving it a lot, and they've given you guys a 70% off discount. I don't know how long this is going to last, so definitely check it out at the link below if you are interested. My code you can use is Nicole2021 for 70% off. So you can essentially get this, I think, for like your Radiance skincare system is like $28.50. Definitely check out my link. Use my code below if you are interested. I've been using this all month long. The heads that you can change out are super duper easy. It's not difficult to do at all. And I feel like my skin kind of just needs that extra love because I haven't been really over the past year doing as much that I normally would to take care of the skin. You know what I mean? And I've really been noticing it helps for the face and the feet for sure. All right, I have a couple of hair things I have to tell you about too. So today my hair is kind of straight, kind of wavy. This is kind of just what it does when I'm not attempting to curl it. Like I'm just kind of like brushing it out and maybe doing some blow drying to it. So I found this in like an Ulta sale, and it's like a travel size kit for curly hair, curly wavy hair. And I was like, you know what? I've been struggling with the hair. I'm letting it grow out. But when it grows out, the waves and the curls can get a little difficult. So I kind of want to find something that will work well for my curly hair. And I have been trying DevaCurl, a whole like travel collection set for pretty much the past 3 weeks, and I think I am in love with it, and I'm kind of going through it rather quickly. This is the No Poo Original. It has a zero lather conditioning cleanser to it. This is kind of like how I start my hair. Then I move into the One Condition Original. It's a daily hair cream conditioner. I go in with this next, and this gets out a ton of tangles. This has been great for that. And then I've been using the two other pieces that it came with, the styling cream and the light defining gel with my hair. And I've really noticed, and you may have noticed in my other videos, not this one right now because I kind of am letting it have a day off of me trying to keep it curly, because pro tip with curly wavy hair, sometimes you just let it have a week or so to do other things, and then it goes back into being even curlier. Weird, I know. But this combination has been doing great for my curly hair, especially as the humidity has been rising. When it's super duper humid outside, my hair tends to get frizzier. It doesn't tend to want to stay in a curl, and this has made them more like ringlets again. I have been loving this. Got it in a travel kit from Ulta, but I can't find that same travel kit like bundle with them. So I'm just going to keep my eye out for some more sales with DevaCurl. Do you know much about like how often they go on sale? Because so far this has worked really, really great for my hair. And one other hair tool that I have been playing with behind the scenes to touch up the curls, because by like day 3-ish, sometimes 4-ish, hair, don't judge. We're not supposed to wash our hair every day anyway because we need the natural oils. Sometimes it starts to get a little frizzy because of the weather. And so I've been jumping into this, I think it's pronounced, is it the Ellesye 2-in-1 hair straightener and curler? Like, look at this. This is so stinking cool. It's got a little lock here that you can either unlock to straighten your hair or lock it up to wrap and curl your hair. I've been using this as a touch-up piece for me, sometimes for just those weird waves that aren't cooperating, and it came with a ton of tools. I really did not think that I would use the glove, but I absolutely used the glove because the tip of this still can get hot, and I do have longer hair, so sometimes it needs to go down the barrel and go all the way to the end. So that glove has come in clutch a few times. I've also not had one of these, what do they call it, like a rat tail comb in a while to kind of like separate the hair and things like that. This has come in super handy. And this has been nice to kind of just like brush out any of the waves and curls. Also comes with a clip so you can like hold some of the hair back while you're getting underneath things. Super great little bundle here that I was able to get from the brand. This is a professional hair straightener 2-in-1, and it adapts the internal and external heating separation technology. It's the easiest way to get some Hollywood styling. Just lock and adjust the temperatures. The outer surface heats up, and then you can wrap your hair around it. Ellesye hair straightener curler comes with ionic ceramic coatings to effectively reduce thermal hurt to the hair, keeping the hair shiny and healthy. They even have recommendations for, depending on the type of hair you have, how warm it should be, because you can absolutely decide with the little buttons down here how hot or how cool to make it. It's been really handy to have here on hand since it does come with so many tools. This was gifted to me, and I will definitely have a link below for you if you wanted to check it out, see if maybe something you were interested in. I'm really enjoying this, and it's definitely helped keep my hair together as the humidity rises. Oh my gosh, guys, I feel like I have gone through so many things for you. If you are still here at the end of this video, how much of your beverage do you have left? Did you have to go do a refill? I really appreciate you guys, and I love doing these videos with you. And now I have to do my shout outs, because every month I love to shout out my friends here, because you are the reason I do these videos, and I just feel like we are friends, just talking about makeup and lifestyle and fun things. I'm pretty positive I've already shouted you out, girl, maybe a year or so ago, but I have to shout you out again because I am relying on you in my comments to help us out with skincare, especially when we get stuff from Boxy that we're like, is this good? Is this bad? What does this warning symbol mean? Anti-Whip Viper, I rely on you so much when you're commenting in my videos, and you have been a longtime subscriber and commenter, so I just needed to give you, I think, another shout out, because I'm pretty sure I've shouted you out before, but lately I've been like, can our friends in the audience tell us what we know about this skincare piece, because she's an esthetician, and she's been right there for me every time. I so appreciate you, girl. Mwah! And Jessica Marino, you and I are Boxy babes together. You let me know when your boxes are coming in, what you are getting, your thoughts on things, and I love seeing you in my comments, girl. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, again, these are longer videos, guys. Well, so are all my videos, but I really appreciate you guys giving me your thoughts, kind of hanging in here with me every single video, especially these month-end videos, because we usually have a lot to talk about. So what have you been loving this whole month? Have you tried any of these things? Were there any standouts for you with BoxyCharm? Tell us maybe some summer lifestyle things you're interested in, because maybe you'll see it in an upcoming favorite fail. You just never know. But if you happen to be new to my loud, weird, crazy, unique channel, hi new friends, I really hope you take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on all the awesome videos coming, and I have a lot more fun stuff coming for you. Bye, friends.